34 and 35. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you're there on the call. Can you hear me, Prabhuji? You're there on the call, Prabhuji? I think Prabhuji is there, but he has not unmuted it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you Prabhuji for Thank you Prabhuji for giving your valuable association. Dandavas Pranam Prabhuji. We are really fortunate to have you on this call and to hear from you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. You can take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I'm just going to open the purport from Srimad Bhagavatam. Just bear with me for a moment, please. I'm sorry for the delay.
No, Prabhuji, it's fine. It's the correct time.
It is 4:30, 34 and 35, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. And it's been displayed on the screen also. 34.
Okay, great. Then I don't need to. Okay, thank you. So we'll begin with our prayers and then we can discuss the verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, verse 34. I don't think we can actually ask people to repeat. But what I will do is I will just chant the verse 3 times. And you can actually read along with me, but on a mute. And then we can go through word-to-word meaning as well in the translation and the purport after that. Tulayam lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagvat sangi sangasya martyanam kimuta shishaha. Tulayam lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagvat sangi sangasya martyanam kimuta shishaha. Tulayam lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam. Na swargam na punarbhavam bhagvat sangi sangasya martyanam kimuta shishaha. Tulayam, we compare. Lavena, with a moment. Api, even. Na, not. Swargam, attainment of heavenly planets. Na, not. Apunarbhavam, merging into the Brahman effulgence. Bhagvat, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sangi, with associates. Sangasya, of the association. Martyanam, of persons who are destined to die. Kimuta, how much less. Ashishaha, benedictions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Even a moment's association with a pure devotee cannot be compared to being transferred to heavenly planets or even merging into the Brahman effulgence in complete liberation. For living entities who are destined to give up the body and die, association with pure devotees is the highest benediction. Purport. The great saint Prabhudananda Saraswati, a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, has stated, Kaivalyam narkayate tridashapur akasha pushpayate. For a pure devotee, Kaivalya, merging into the existence of Brahman, the Brahman effulgence, is no better than living in hell. Similarly, he considers promotion to heavenly planets, Tridashapur, just another kind of phantasmagoria. In other words, a pure devotee does not place much value in the destination of the karmis, the heavenly planets, or in the destination of the jnanis, merging into the Brahman effulgence. A pure devotee considers a moment's association with another pure devotee to be far superior to residing in a heavenly planet or merging in Brahman effulgence. The topmost benediction for those who are living in this material world and are subjected to the repetition of birth and death or transmigration is association with pure devotees. I will read this line just once again. The topmost benediction for those who are living in this material world and are subjected to the repetition of birth and death is the association of pure devotees. One should search out such pure devotees and remain with them. That will make one completely happy. Even though living within the material world, this Krishna consciousness movement is started for that purpose. A person who is overly affected materially may take advantage of this movement and become intimately associated with it. In this way, the confused and frustrated inhabitants of this material world may find the highest happiness in the association of devotees. Please scroll up. We'll go to the next verse. यत्रेड्यन्ते कथा मृष्टास् तृष्णयाः प्रशमो यतः निर्वैरं यत्र भूतेषु नोद्वेगो यत्र कश्चन. Let's read the translation, please. Whenever pure topics of transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. Vaikuntha means without anxiety, and the material world means full of anxiety. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Sada Samudvigna Dhyam Asad Grahat. The living entities who have accepted this material world as a residence are full of anxiety. A place immediately becomes Vaikuntha whenever the holy topics of the personality of Godhead are discussed by pure devotees. This is the process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, chanting and hearing about the Supreme Lord Vishnu. As the Supreme Lord himself confirms, Naham Tishtami Vaikunthe Yoginam Hridayeshva Tatra Tishtami Narada Yatra Gayanti Madbhaktaha. My dear Narada, actually I do not reside in my abode Vaikuntha, nor do I reside within the hearts of yogis, but I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy names and discuss my form, pastimes, and qualities. Because of the presence of the Lord in the form of transcendental vibration, the Vaikuntha atmosphere is evoked. This atmosphere is without fear and anxiety. One living entity does not fear another. By hearing the holy names and glories of the Lord, a person executes pious activities. Shrunvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha. Bhagavatam 1.2.17. Thus, his material hankerings immediately stop. This Sankirtan movement, started by the Society for Krishna Consciousness, is meant for creating Vaikuntha, the transcendental world that is without anxiety, even in this material world. The method is the propagation of Shravanam Kirtanam process throughout the world. In the material world, everyone is envious of his fellow man. Animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yajna. I will just read this line once again. Animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yajna. The chanting of the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Prachetas therefore decided to remain always in the society of devotees, and they considered that to be the highest benediction possible in human life. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So welcome everybody in this session of the Bhakti Sangha lecture. And I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the feet of every Vaishnava who is attending, and especially all the Vaishnavas who are senior to me and in age and in qualification and in capacity uh, and in everything else. And those, and whether they are senior or junior, I would like to offer my obeisances to all of them. Uh, Actually, this first verse and the second verse, they create such a wonderful context for a sustainable Krishna conscious society. Uh, Actually, recently there was a celebration of my spiritual master's Vyas Puja, Radhanath Swami Maharaj's Vyas Puja, and one particular incident was quoted there, um, and I would just like to repeat that incident here. It's very significant. So one time it so happened that Radhanath Maharaj was actually sitting in Bhagavatam class, and as he was speaking, the voice was just not audible. And then somebody did some some fidgeting with the connections, and then suddenly the voice was available, and then again after some time the voice was cracking, and then that continued. So one problem continued after the other. So Radhanath Maharaj was quite disgusted with that whole experience. As soon as the class was over, he went behind where the sound connections are done, and he called the personality who was in charge, and he said, "What's wrong?" So he said, "Maharaj, I'm just trying to figure out uh, what is the problem." And then there was this whole uh, bunch of wires, and it was so complex that nobody would understand which wire is going which places. So typically in Bhagavatam class, in any place, you have a speaker's mic, and then there are other mics which are handed over to people to speak, to ask questions. And then there could be one mic for the mothers, for the Matajis who are sitting at the other side. So 3-4 mics are typically there. And it was absolutely impossible to find out which wire is of which mic and what's happening. It was just a, so Radhanath Maharaj lifted that whole, whatever that mess was. And out of that, he held one wire and he asked this devotee, what is this? Tell me, what is this? And this devotee said, Maharaj, it's wire. Maharaj said, no, it is not wire. He said, this is the vein of Harinam Prabhu. He said, this is the vein of Harinam Prabhu. You cannot have it in mess. So right now you take this off. In fact, he took that whole mess of wire and he threw it in dustbin. And he asked that devotee to buy new sets of wires and immediately renovate that entire connection system. And he said, get separate color wires for each separate mic, and use it completely well. So I just quoted this incident because for any society to be sustainable and to continue its Krishna consciousness for a long time, it's very essential that there is no envy amongst the members of society. And it's very pertinent that prachetas actually here are speaking about it in their prayer. And if you actually these are the prayers of prachetas, but if you actually read the section where Lord Vishnu is talking to the prachetas, Lord Vishnu says that actually I have appeared in front of you because all of you are performing together the devotional service, and that has pleased me the most. So what actually pleases Lord Krishna, as they always say it, is not the individual purity but the collective unity. But for that collective unity to exist always and become a sustainable model, it is very essential that the members of that community are able to hear Krishna Katha very nicely. Therefore, amongst all the systems that may exist in temple, the sound system is the most important, because that is going to ensure that everyone is able to hear Krishna Katha, and everyone is able to hear Krishna Katha at a stretch as much as desired by the advanced devotees who are sitting there and speaking about it. So the first verse, the Tulayam Lavenapi, na Swargam na Punarbhavam, that even the moments of association of pure devotee is so great, right? So that verse is like a miracle. It talks about a miracle. In fact, there is one particular story which is often packaged along with this verse, and many of you may have heard this. And just for my purification, I'll repeat that pastime. And that pastime goes in various versions, but the version which I have heard, I will just try to repeat that. And we can understand the aspect of miracle in that. And the reason why I'm trying to refer to that story here is that there are some other important things that we learn from that pastime, and that and just and if I have a permission, I would just like to highlight those other points as well. So there's a story about Amrish Maharaj's brother. As it goes, it's not doesn't appear in Srimad Bhagavatam, and I don't know in which scripture it appears, but it's very oftenly quoted, especially with this particular verse, that even a moment's association of pure devotee is greater than Swargam na Punarbhavam. So actually, for those of you who may be thinking, what is this na Punarbhavam? And Prabhupada nicely explains it in the translation that it actually means liberation. So Punarbhavam means to come again. Apunarbhava means not to come again, that is moksha, and na punarbhavan means even better than the moksha. So it's like that. That's the beauty of Sanskrit language. You can keep on adding prefixes and have more and more refined meanings of the words, and also compose those words in a nice poetry, Uttama Shloka, for glorifying Krishna and his devotees. So therefore, this the story which actually proves this point. So what happened is, the brother of Amrish Maharaj apparently was not a very sort of a devotional person. In fact, he was quite antagonistic, quite an anti-devotee, to speak. And Amrish Maharaj was always very concerned about it, just like how Vidura was concerned about Dhritarashtra. Similarly, so Amrish Maharaj once told Narad Muni, who was visiting him, that please speak to my brother. He's addicted to so many bad habits, and he's sometimes doing sinful activities. And I my heart pains. So Narad Muni, of course, knows everything. So Amrish Maharaj told Narad Muni, please speak to him. So Narad Muni said, you mean your brother? And I speak to him? He said, no way. Because he knew that nothing is going to work out. In fact, the more you speak to this person, the more anti he's going to become. And you see such type of people in your preaching experiences, right? I mean, sometimes it's just better to stop there. You can't speak anything more. Narmal said, no, I'm going to go talk to him. Amrish Maharaj pleaded to him, please, Narmal, please. You transform the heart of Mrugar, you transform the heart of Ratnakar, the Valmiki Muni, who in his previous life, you transform the heart of all types of personalities, right from a hunter right up to the king, Prachini Barhi and whoever. Vyasdev, personalities like Vyasdev, they had confusions in their life, and you have handled that. So there's practically no personality that you have not handled. So my brother is just nothing. So Narad Muni reluctantly agreed, say, okay, I'll go and talk to him. So Narad Muni went to him, and as soon as he went, this person, he was quite cultured actually. So he received Narad Muni and made him sit on his asan and washed his feet. Up to that point, he was quite okay. So actually, you see this one thing which is very important in Vedic culture, and if you see in Vedic civilization, that people may have differences of opinion when it comes to the faith that they want to follow in life, or the sampradaya they want to follow in life. But you can also always see a cultural unity. And typically, this cultural unity centers around only one thing, and that is respecting sadhus. Everyone does that. Whether he's a karmi, he will respect sadhu. We see even the example of Kamsa. He used to respect Narad Muni, right? I think the only demon that we see not respecting Narad Muni so much is Hiranyakashipu, but he was like a class apart. But apart from that, practically, you speak of any demon or any demigod or any human being, everyone respects Narad Muni. So take any scriptures, or everyone respects sadhus. We see in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, or Prakashananda Saraswati, there was complete differences of opinion as compared to the philosophy between Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Saraswati. But when it came to the aspect of serving a sadhu and giving due respect to a sadhu, right? Prakashananda Saraswati was very concerned that Mahaprabhu gets that necessary respect as a sannyasi. He actually personally came to pick Chaitanya Mahaprabhu up, and that's how his heart was transformed. So that's how the cultural unity is extremely important. And within International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we have to actually understand this thing very, very strongly. That let there be cultural unity. There could be differences of opinions, differences of beliefs, but they cannot become the cause of fighting and arguing. You know, otherwise the people just keep on finding points. Prabhupada says like this in this purport, and therefore it has to be like this. And then somebody will bring out some other purport, and then that Prabhupada actually says like this in the purport. Like this. Okay, that's okay. Let's have culture. Prabhupada has said so many things in the purport, but one thing Prabhupada always said before he left his body is that you show your love for me the way you cooperate. So why don't we all just close down all the purports and focus on this statement first? This is what Prabhupada wanted. So that can be the main thing which Prabhupada said, and then everything else that is just an opinion, and that's just a, if you're not fully understood something, or if you have doubts about it, just park it aside, and then Krishna will reveal. Being able to reconcile between various statements quoted in various places, it requires tremendous spiritual maturity. It cannot just overnight come to a devotee. And in conditioned soul, they always like to have a black or a white. You just take, it is like this, and that means nothing else. No, there are just shades of gray everywhere. Nothing is. If you see Vedic culture, it's full of variety and it's full of shades, and it takes a lot of maturity for a person to be able to understand that. And therefore, actually, even the purport that we read, very clearly Prabhupada says, hearing from pure devotees, hearing from advanced devotees, so important, because these are the personalities who are able to reconcile between the statements. That is very important. So coming back to our pastime. So this person, he respected Narad Muni. And then Narad Muni began talking. And then Narad Muni, as soon as he came to the point of explaining about the spiritual tattva, the tattva of soul, and the importance of devotional service, as soon as he started that topic, he just became so angry. He said, no, I don't want to listen all this, and please go away, please go away. Just started in the Narad Muni. And Narad Muni was, okay, I mean, what happened to you? I'm just talking, just 2 minutes back, you were quite normal, and then suddenly he just became so angry. And then, in fact, the story says that he started picking up bottles of wine and started throwing at Narad Muni. And just leave this place. Narad Muni just got up and he was going, but then he said, just listen to me one thing. He said, I'm going, but I just want to tell you one thing. When you will face Yamaraj in your life, at the end of your life, ask him one question. What is the value of one moment's association of a pure devotee? And then Narad Muni disappeared. And as it was obvious, when this person died, brother of Amrish Maharaj, Yamadutas actually came to take him. And he went through that painful journey of being dragged in front of Yamaraj himself. And then when Chitragupta, he read the entire history of this personality, Yamaraj, he just felt so much of sympathy for this man, thinking that he's a brother of Amrish Maharaj, he's a brother of a Mahajan, and look at that, look at what has happened to him. So Yamaraj, he said, you will definitely be punished for your sins that you have committed, but I want to give you a chance. If you have any questions before I give you punishment, you can ask. You want to ask anything? And somehow this man, all of a sudden he just got that epiphany. Oh, he remembered that Narad Muni had told me this. He said, yeah, I have one question. So what is the question? The question is, what is the value of one moment's association of a pure devotee? And then Yamaraj, when he heard this question, he actually became introspective. And so he couldn't answer the question. So he said the problem is, those who are sadhus and pure devotees, I don't deal with them. I deal with people who are not sadhus and who are sinful. Those are the people whom I judge and I punish. Sadhus never come to me. So I don't know what is the value of their 1 moment of their association. I actually don't know. So it's about what to do. But he said, but this is the question. You asked me to ask a question. I asked you the question. He said, yeah, but then we need to find an answer. So he started thinking. So okay, let's go to the king of all the demigods, Indra. So from hell he went to the heaven along with this soul. And they asked Indra, what is the value of 1 moment's of association of a pure devotee? And Indra was thinking that, actually, whenever I see sadhus, they perform their tapasya, I actually go and disturb their samadhi. And I create problems in their samadhi. So I also don't know the value of 1 moment of their association. In fact, I never take it. I mean, this question has now made me introspective. I should be doing something about it. So I don't know. So then when they went to Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma, he suggested, let's go to Lord Brahma. So the same question was asked to Lord Brahma. And Brahma started thinking about it. He said, a pure devotee is beyond my creation. So if you ask me any question within my creation that has to do with the 24 elements of material nature and all the karma principle and everything that I can talk about, but pure devotee is beyond all this. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. So maybe let's go to Lord Shiva. He is a sadhu. He's actually a great devotee. Maybe he will know. So they went to Lord Shiva. So now we have Indra, Brahma, Yamraj, and this soul of Amrish Maharaj's brother, all going to the Kailash, abode of Kailash. And then Lord Shiva, when he heard that question, of course he knew the answer. But externally he said, I don't know the answer to this question, because throughout the day I am with all these hobgoblins and the ghosts, and that's what I associate with. So you want to ask me what is the value of association of a ghost? I can tell you. What is the value of association of a pure devotee? I don't know. So he was just, and he was serious about it. So he said, I think let's go to Lord Vishnu. So that's the only way you can get the answer of that. So then Lord Shiva actually took this soul and Yamraj to the abode of Lord Vishnu, Vaikuntha Loka. And then they asked this question to Lord Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu came there smiling. And he said, the value of 1 moment's association of a pure devotee is that somebody who is destined to suffer in hellish planets is now able to come to Vaikuntha. And he said that now that you have got him here, so I will keep him here. He will just stay here and you can all go back. And then it was like a revelation. So this person actually realized that this is the value of 1 moment's association of a pure devotee. Now this story may sound like a miracle, and it is a miracle, but these type of miracles are actually seen there are many stories like this actually in scriptures. And one story which is actually a real story, and that is about our own Srila Prabhupada. So when Prabhupada actually was in Russia, Shyam Sundar Prabhu was with him. And in Russia it was communism, and especially any religious movement or any religious preaching was very scrutinizingly checked. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu was actually just going around to find someone whom he can talk to. And one person, somehow, he identified Shyam Sundar Prabhu based on his looks and everything. And he said that, are you an American? And Shyam Sundar Prabhu, yes, an American. And then he asked something. He said, do you have American genes or something? Shyam Sundar Prabhu said, I don't have American genes, but I have a spiritual master. Do you want to talk to him? And then Shyam Sundar Prabhu took that first person, took him to Srila Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada spoke to that person. And that may be a conversation that lasted 1 hour at the most. And then another amazing thing happened. Somehow, although Shamsundar Prabhu's wife, uh, her guest Malti Mataji, although she was told not to give any spiritual book because you are entering in Russia, somehow she had pushed in one Bhagavad Gita copy in his bag. And with a lot of trick, he had actually taken it. Uh, he was successfully able to pass the custom check as well, along with the Bhagavad Gita copy. There's another beautiful story, which you can hear from himself. He speaks it very nicely. That Bhagavad Gita copy was there. That copy was given to this person, and the meeting of Srila Prabhupada. And then after that, what happened is a history. Literally the face of Soviet Republic completely changed in terms of this religious landscape. That is the power of value of association, one moments of association of a pure devotee. Now, this is a miraculous story, but there is something which I wanted to bring your attention to, right? In Krishna consciousness, there are always two aspects, right? Uh, and therefore, the wonderful story of Damodar Leela is always quoted. One is the aspect of Krishna's mercy or the divine intervention, but one is the aspect of your own hard work. In classic Sanskrit language, it is called Daiva and Purushartha. Right? The Purushartha is something that you have to do yourself, and Daiva is the mercy of God, which comes. When Daiva and Purushartha both are together, that is a time when success is guaranteed. So, in case of even this particular brother of Amrish Maharaj, right, he was actually in a very precarious situation, right? But still, he remembered that question and he spoke that question. That one small effort he had to do on his part. Everything else was arranged by Narad Muni, and everything else got arranged by the mercy of great devotees like Narad Muni. But he had to remember that one thing which was told to him, and then exactly do it at that right time, which he was able to do. That was his Purushartha. And because there was Purushartha and then there was a Daiva, so as a result, he actually went back to God. So that's a very important thing that we should know. That although the mercy of the pure devotee, right, that's a miracle, but then there has to be something that has to be done from our side also. So what is that needs to be done from our side? That is actually given in the second purport that we read. And therefore, choosing these two purports make the context complete. And that's what is given in the second purport is, and Srila Prabhupada very nicely says there, that one should try to search out for a pure devotee. And then once you find a pure devotee, then stay there. And that is really the challenge in Krishna consciousness. Finding a pure devotee itself is a challenge, but even after you find a pure devotee, being able to stay around is another challenge. Because what happens is people who are coming in Krishna consciousness, they are coming from all varieties of backgrounds. And they come along with all the varieties of conditionings. And that makes the life of everyone around, it can make the life of everyone around a little difficult. Because everyone is coming with conditioning. So staying in one place becomes like a challenge. So is there no solution for this problem? The solution is there. And that is what is given in the second purport. And the solution is regularly hearing Krishna Katha. And Srila Prabhupada, actually, if you read the translation of the second verse, there is one particular word which Srila Prabhupada quotes in the purport or quotes in the translation, which is actually not there in the original Sanskrit. And I'll read the translation. Prabhupada says, whenever pure topics of transcendental world are discussed, the members of audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being. Now, in this entire Sanskrit text, yatredyante katha mrushtas trishnayaha prashamo yataha nirvairam yatra bhuteshu no dvegi yatra kashana. In this, there's no word which indicates for the time being, or no Sanskrit here which says that at least for the time being. Prabhupada added in that translation, because that is something which is a theme. That is something that indicates that the impact of hearing in the association of pure devotees, at least for the time being, will help you, meaning that the effect of that may not be completely permanent in just that one hearing. You'll have to again come and do that process, and then again come and do that process, and again come and do that process. And for you to again and again and again come and do that process, there has to be people around who are non-envious, whom you are able to get along with. Because if there are people around whom you are not able to get along with, there is no way that you can do it again and again and again. And because the effect is only going to last for the time being, therefore you do it and then you're gone. That is not acceptable. And Srila Prabhupada says that we have built this Krishna conscious society just for this purpose. And these exact lines you will also see in Nectar of Instruction. And in which verse of Nectar of Instruction? That is Dadati Prati Gurunati Guhyam Akhyati Pruchyati. In that particular verse, I think it is the fourth or the fifth verse of Nectar of Instruction. Prabhupada quotes the exact same lines which are there in this purport. And he says that we have built this Krishna consciousness movement to facilitate these loving exchanges between devotees. So in this way, we can understand that unless there is a society of devotees which is centered around two things, one is regularly hearing from the pure devotees of Krishna, a strong culture of Shravanam and Kirtanam. And Prabhupada writes actually in the last line of this purport, he says that animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yajna. So sometimes devotees often ask this question, how can this person do this despite being a devotee? या हिंदी में जैसे अरे डिवोटी होके भी ऐसा करता है, right? And you'll keep hearing this question again and again and again in community. Wherever there is some community, people always talk about this one thing, devotee होके भी ऐसा क्यों करता है, right? And Prabhupada makes it very clear, please don't expect Vaikuntha atmosphere unless this particular thing is followed. Prabhupada makes it very clear that animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yajna. And Sankirtan includes chanting and hearing, both, right? Actually, Saswarup Maharaj, His Holiness Saswarup Maharaj has written one nice book called as Reading Reform Book. And in that he mentions that, quotes a letter of Srila Prabhupada. And in that letter, Prabhupada says that unless you are reading my books every day, you will look at the deities and you will say that these deities are a burden on my head. So unless you are reading regularly, even the 16 rounds, you will look at your bead bag and you will say these 16 rounds are burden on my head. Why the hell did I make that vow in front of fire? I made a big mistake in my life. So you will keep on thinking like, not you, I mean, I also. All of us go through this. That spiritual seva or service becomes an absolute burden on the head if there is no sadhana, or especially there is no shravanam, which is done regularly. And be sure that will definitely lead out to the nature. Recently I have seen examples, like few examples which recently happened. It really pained the heart so much. I have seen kids in bhakti showing excellent because they are prodigies, and Srila Prabhupada made that point very clear that children born in Krishna consciousness are not ordinary. But every parent somehow in Krishna consciousness keeps feeling that my child has to become nothing less than Prahlad Maharaj, and it's not going to happen. It's not like that. We see that among the children of Srila Prabhupada, not everyone became devotee. Actually, only one person became devotee, was a direct child of Srila Prabhupada. And in case of I'll tell you, this is such a wonderful thing, such a wonderful thing of the culture. You see, we hear of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, right? So who called out for appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who was the personality who called out for appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It was Advaitacharya himself, right? And Advaitacharya would go on the bank of Ganges. He would offer Ganges and Tulsi water to his Shaligram Shila. And he would cry out loudly. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one of the pastimes Mahaprakash Leela revealed it, that the calling out of Advaitacharya was so loud that it actually penetrated all the barriers of material universe and reached to Vaikuntha. But what was he calling out? Did Advaitacharya call out that, oh Lord, you appear and you appear as my son in my house? No, he did not say like that. He was just calling out for Lord to appear. And it so happened that Lord appeared not in his house. He appeared in the house of somebody else, Jagannath Mishra. And when that news of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance came, Haridas Thakur and Advaitacharya were ecstatic. They were dancing and crying loud. They were not understanding why they are so happy. Right. Now, he was not saying that, Lord, I was actually calling for you and you appeared in somebody else's house. I mean, this is not a deal, right? And it's not fair. And I did all the effort. Jagannath Mishra has not done anything. So there is no such concept, there is no such understanding. But in today's society, in our society, we don't see that happening, right? You see some particular child has excellent spiritual qualities, attributes. I know one particular family where the child had fantastic spiritual inclination. The boy would spontaneously do worship of Srila Prabhupada, and he would bring all the charmer and everything and do all that. Another mother, she saw that, she felt, oh, why my child is not doing it? So she forced that her child also, you also come, you also do deity worship. The child was completely confused. He had no inclination about doing deity worship of Srila Prabhupada. But no, because he is doing it, you also do it. So this is a big problem. You need to understand. This is happening because there is no proper Shravanam. See, in material world, somehow we have this understanding that there are limited resources and there are unlimited people to claim those resources. And this is the principle of economics, right? I mean, this is how the world works. This is the basic fundamental principle of economics. That is that there are unlimited people, but there are limited resources. And now you see all this. I mean, you can look at the conspiracy theories behind the entire pandemic and everything. It's all about controlling the population because there are unlimited people and there are limited resources, right? But this is nonsense. Actually, this is absolute nonsense. Actually, there are unlimited resources, right? Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinche jagatyam jagat. Sorry, what is the verse before that? Om purnamadha purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate. Can you imagine Earth, this entire world, which is a material world, right? So you can understand Supreme Lord is complete. That is an understandable idea. I mean, Supreme Lord is complete. But something that has come from Supreme Lord is also complete. The material world is complete. We should have full faith in this fact that the material world is complete. That means everything that I need for me to advance in spiritual life is already there. There's no need for me to compete with somebody else and grab that thing from that person. It's utter nonsense. I have seen sometimes people are, they want to watch Abhishek happening on a festival DT. People just push around everybody, drag everywhere, and because they want to grab a seat and see the Abhishek. Yes, it's not like that. There is ample for everyone. Just wait and see. Just wait for Krishna to reveal what has been stored for you. And it's ample for everybody. Because somebody else's son is doing something, because somebody else devotee is doing something, and I want to do the same seva, I want to do this. There is somebody is doing fund collection and he's contacting few people and getting the fund collection from there. Okay, then you create a complete enmity with that person. Okay, why are you going to the same people that I have cultivated in devotion? Why are you collecting? There's ample for everyone. These problems will keep on coming unless there is sufficient hearing of Krishna Katha. And you see, you see all the devotees, like you see prachetas, I mean, are they trying to imitate Prahlad Maharaj, or are they trying to imitate Dhruva Maharaj? Like Dhruva Maharaj did a different type of tapasya. Are they saying that, okay, we have to surpass Dhruva Maharaj's tapasya? No, they on their own, they are doing different way. That's fine. That's for us, right? So this is very important. It's a very, very important principle that unless there is a Shravanam. So what happens is by hearing Krishna Katha regularly, and because Krishna is non-different than the book, because he's non-different than Bhagavad Gita, he's non-different than Bhagavad, he's non-different than his message which is given, right? that appearance of Krishna in the heart gives us what is known as abundance mentality. Though a person becomes abundant in his heart, there is so much already there. There's so much already Krishna has given me. He has already given me much, much more than I deserve. That abundance has to happen in the heart. Unless that abundance happens, and that, believe me, that abundance will come and it will remain for the time being. And again, you will have to get it back by hearing it again from the mouth of some devotee. It cannot stop. So, therefore, very important, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. He says, every devotee is my part and parcel. Then he uses this wonderful word. He says, Prakriti Sthani Karshati. A person is working very hard, right? So actually, what is Karshati? The Karshati, as Prabhupada gives a meaning in purport, Karshati means working very hard, endeavoring very hard. He uses that word. But the word Karshan, what we say, Karshati iti Krishna, right? This is the definition of the word Krishna. One who attracts is known as Krishna. So the gravitational pull is actually called as Gurutwakarshan in English, in Sanskrit. So Karshan means a pull. So the word, so what pulls? What pulls is earth, and therefore anything that has to do with earth is also known as Krushi. So agriculture is also called as Krushi. The same root. So what is agriculture all about? Agriculture is all about hard work. You don't get rice in just, you may go to a supermarket and buy 1 kg of rice or 1 kg of wheat, but you go and ask the farmer actually what actually goes in producing that 1 kg of rice. You have to grow. I think 1.5 years back, I had made an effort of educating my daughter in a Gurukul school, and one of the things that they did in that Gurukul was they made parents come and sow the rice, and then after a few months come and actually do the harvest of the rice. And everything was hard work, pure hard work, right? But after doing that harvest with your own hand, you will not have guts to lose even one morsel of rice on your plate, or to leave in one morsel of, because you know how much hard work has gone in doing that particular activity, right? So even in devotional service, devotees have to do that hard work. Devotional service process is susukham kartum avayam, right? It is practiced enjoyably. What is the hard work? The hard work is to ensure that you are able to do Shravanam consistently and make some effort, some organization around it. Without that, hard work is not going to happen. Therefore, I began with that particular story of Ratana Swami Maharaj. That Ratana Swami Maharaj made that person do that hard work of creating the necessary arrangement so that Shravanam can take place. So some hard work may be required in devotee's life to ensure that good Kirtanam and good Shravanam has to happen. You cannot say that I'll just lie down and one day all Shravan Kirtan will keep on happening automatically. No, that will not happen. Some hard work will be required. That is completely unavoidable because Krishna has given that mandate that it is Prakriti Sthani Karshati. There will be hard work. That you cannot avoid. Even for advancing in spiritual life. It's Krushi, right? If you think that, and I got this example from which book, there's a very wonderful book from a person who is considered as the father of value investing, and he's considered as the guru of Warren Buffett. I forgot his name actually. The book is called Intelligent Investor. A very famous book. And in the first introduction part of that book, this person writes, he says that don't think that investing is just a joke. It is hard work, just like a farmer. A farmer who works hard, he can actually reap the harvest. Only an investor who works hard will be able to earn and get that reap of that harvest of money later on. Somebody who just goes on trading randomly, they'll not be able to earn any money. That's not possible. If you think like that, you're trying to circumvent the hard work, you'll only gather sinful activities. You'll only gather horrible karma, ugra karma. Circumventing will not work in the material world. It will just not work. That is a mandate given by Krishna. So therefore, Therefore, devotees, they are willing to undergo that little bit of austerity to ensure that stable Shravanam process will always go on. It may mean to recharge your phone every time you want to hear the class. That hard work may mean that you always remind yourself before you go to sleep that next day I have to do this. It may mean that you need to keep that book always in that same place after you read it and you kept it back, because if you don't keep it back, somebody else will pick it up. You will not find it on the next day. You will miss your reading or hearing. It could mean very small things, but that is required. There was an article which came many days back in Back to Word magazine, and it was written by His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj, and he said that remember Sankirtan Yagya. That is what is mentioned here. Sankirtan Yagya. So a yagya requires two things. One is purity of the substance that is used, the purity of the material which is used, or the devotion, and the second is organization. And there is a very famous pastime of Giriraj Maharaj talking to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada once asked Giriraj Swami Maharaj that how will this movement continue after me? Prabhupada asked this to Giriraj Maharaj. So Giriraj Maharaj said, if we are sincere, it will happen. Prabhupada said no. So Giriraj Maharaj said, if we are humble, then this will happen. Prabhupada said, yeah, humility is absolutely important, but only humility will not work. So then Prabhupada wanted some particular answer. So he said, okay, what Prabhupada then? What? Prabhupada said, you need to be organized. You need to be organized. And that is the hard work part. That is the hard work part of the entire Sankirtan process. Being organized. It's very easy. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is not just about miracle. It's miracle uh, which is gifted by Krishna being happy at the hard work, seeing the hard work of the devotee. And therefore, Prabhupada said that this material life is like the hard wood, and we need to carve Krishna out of that. These are the words that he used. That's what actually he meant. To be able to do the necessary hard work that is required so that Shravanam and Kirtanam will continue in its proper quality. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That's all I had to mention. I think it's 6:40 my time, 6:42. So 6:40, yeah. So I think we will end here, and then if anybody has any questions, we can take. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, All Krishna Srila Prabhupada. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji, and very much so important. So, Prabhuji, I have question like how the investment is hard work, Prabhuji.
No. Investment is not hard work. What he was saying is that before you invest in a company, you need to do the hard work. You need to see the balance sheet. You need to read all the reports. You need to read the management reports and everything. And then you make a choice that, okay, now I will make an investment. What he was trying to say is that just like a farmer, he has to look. So farmer has those intuitions. They look at the sky and they understand, okay, this is, the rains are likely to happen like this and this and this. So if the rains are likely to happen in this month, then this is the month that I will have to, because if you see now cultivation of rice, for instance, rice has to be planted twice. So first you plant a rice until it grows into a small sapling. Then that sapling is replanted into at least knee deep water. Not knee deep, but sheen deep, you can say. The water has to be at least sheen deep. Now that sheen deep water, now you cannot just, in a traditional agriculture, you cannot just pump water into a field and create a sheen deep, ditch of sand where you can go and do. No, you have to wait until it rains so that it is sheen deep water in that particular field. And by the time that rain comes, your sapling should be already grown. Otherwise, what will you sow there? So much of calculation is required, right? So okay, the rain will come in these months likely, and these are the months nakshatras which will likely to rain heavy. So my sapling should be ready by then. So now I have to go and do this sapling here. So much of calculation and dependence on God is there, and then the rice will actually come out. We just actually hog it on our plate sometimes. I'm not talking about devotees, but most of the people in this world. So they just eat it. They don't realize so much of calculation and so much of this is there behind even small things. And that's what exactly, even while investing money, it's not so easy. You have to do a lot of research, a lot of hard work. Now, people want just signals and get this tips from here and there, circumvent the problem. That will not work unless one will actually done hard work. So that's very difficult. That's what he
Yeah,
was trying to say. Yeah.
yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Actually, good thing you send your daughter at Gurukul. Now, this modern technology and everything made people so lazy. Especially, I see in America, all the food is ready and nobody wants to. That is also we have to just bring it from the store and heat up at home and eat it. That one also they don't want to do. They go to restaurant and eat. So this is eating outside is a so lazy business that you don't want to do anything for your own eating. You just want to, and they work like a donkey for some company or something. But eh, for eating food, they say, oh no, I don't want to do that. That time they become lazy.
So, so that's what I have seen. This is the exact situation in India also. So actually, if you want to buy good grains, like good organic grains and good organic fruits and vegetables, which are actually going to provide you the nourishment that is required, then for that you have to pay a price. Not any Tom, Dick, and Harry is able to buy expensive organic food. Correct? Now these are the people who work hard in companies. They actually earn huge amount of money, and these are the people who can actually afford to buy that organic thing and do it at home, but they want to go out and eat in the hotel. It's such a paradox actually. People who are having capacity to buy nourishing food are not willing to take it, and people who actually understand that I need to have nourishing food for my family, for my kids, so that they don't get cancer and they get good nourishment. These people feel that, oh, I don't have money to buy it, because if I buy such expensive food, then how will I be able to do the other things which are required in the house, the other bills, how will I pay them? That's what happens with people who are not having money. And the people who are having money, who are able to buy it, they go and have in hotels. Such a paradox. And do you feel that people in hotel are going to buy organic food and make the food there? They will buy the cheapest thing there, which is available. Because hotels are not meant to feed people nourishing food. Hotels are meant to make benefits and profits. So they will give the least quality that is available in the market. In India, you see there are the potato sellers. After all potatoes are sold in the night time, you will see hotel owners or servants of the hotel owners going there and buying the uh, horrible quality potatoes, uh, and then they are all taken in the night, and then these potatoes are used in the vegetables which are used in the hotels. And this is just one example. What to speak of the grains, and what to speak of the vegetable that goes in, and the sugar that goes in, and the sweet that goes in. It's absolutely horrible. So people who have abilities, I mean, if you're working so hard and earning such good amount of money, then well, let one person stay at home. You don't have to, both persons don't have to go out and work so hard and get money. And I'm actually not challenging any personality or any family here. But if one person is able to do and earn that much money, let other person be at home and cook, and ensure that everyone gets the nourishing food. I mean, ultimately, otherwise, what is the use of the money? So you will earn huge amount of money throughout the life, and then once you retire, you'll spend all that money on your medicines and for staying alive. That doesn't work, right? Better you better that you earn money, buy good food, and when you are retired, right, you're still healthy, and then serve society and give out to society much more, because now you don't have the responsibility of a job. You earn good amount of money and invested it and whatever, right, and give it out. But what's the point in eating outside food throughout the life and then just paying for your medicine for the rest of the life? This isn't just, it's absolute foolishness. It's absolute foolishness. I mean, even there's nothing spiritual about it. It's purely materially also foolish. And what to speak of the consciousness that you risk by eating the outside food? Oh my God. How will you be able to look at a woman like a mother if you're always eating outside food? It's practically impossible. How will you be able to uh, how will you be able to have a sensitivity of heart when you look at a person and try to understand his problem without even he speaking out to you if you're eating regularly outside food? There's no way that this can happen. There's no way. So yeah, what you're saying is right. At least people who are working hard, slogging hard like donkeys and earning a lot of money, at least they should ensure that they eat quality food which is offered to God. Otherwise it's waste of time. But that's just my humble opinion. Please, none of you should. And I'm just a humble servant. That's just purely my opinion. Please don't take it personally if I'm saying something which is too much.
Oh,
Any
Prabhuji,
other?
all are devotee and they are cooking at home, and you most of them are using organic food, and they are offering to Lord, and even some are doing prasadam distribution. So devotees are
Wow.
good, but outside people, it's hard. It means whole America is. It means they it took some few 50 or 60 some years to get that thing in people's mind, that culture in that mind, that we have to eat outside. So they made food industry, big industries are there just to make the potato chips or something. Canned food, so much canned food is available. Why so much is ready made food available? Because they made the culture, people should not
Mhm.
cook at home.
Mhm. Yeah, true. That's true. I know.
I hope India should not become like that.
It's already becoming in cities. It's already becoming in cities. Yeah. Like in Hyderabad, there are few buildings where there is no kitchen in the building. They're supposed to be studios,
Oh my God.
and most of the corporates they buy flats in that house. There's no kitchen in the house. That's the trend. This right in Hyderabad actually. Govind Prabhu was sharing some time back. So it's happening. Yeah. Anyway, see, my problem is that I personally am not a very good cook. I mean, I can manage rice and dal, but I'm personally not a very good cook. But if I get some time in my life, I will definitely learn cooking because I know that's what Srila Prabhupada also did, right, in the beginning of the movement. He actually cooked himself and fed devotees. So when you actually cook with proper consciousness and you're able to feed, that gives tremendous happiness. There must be something very special in that. Like there is a pastime of Jannawa Devi, uh, where there was a famous festival in Kheturi Gram. Radhanath Maharaj talks about that story many times. And there were a lot of activities happening in that entire festival, huge activities. But Janava Devi, who was the main leader of that sangha, she said, what I will do, I will just cook." And she was just cooking and cooking and cooking and cooking and cooking. And then she kept serving the devotees. Uh, and then after everybody ate, then she started to eat herself. After everyone's this was over. So there must have been a much higher pleasure in doing this activity that this old lady was able to do it. Much higher pleasure than actually eating the food. At least that much we can sort of make an assumption here, right? There must be something much greater pleasure. She was an old lady, but it must have been so much of pleasure just feeding people and cooking that she did it very happily. So it's our birthright to experience that pleasure once in life. That's our birthright. Any other questions?
Yeah, Prabhuji, where is that Gurukul where what your daughter was studying?
It's in Bangalore.
Mhm.
It's called Vidyakshetra. They have a website also. You can go and check. So there are a few devotees still there, and then so I tried transferring my job to Bangalore or finding another job there, but it somehow didn't work out. So I had to come back. But otherwise, that Krushi was an important part of the syllabus. And even within Krishna consciousness, those are who are doing homeschooling or trying to give some kind of a cultural training to their children, they should try to include the aspect of Krushi in the syllabus. That the child actually sees that this is how the seed is sown, this is how it is grown, this is how, coming in contact with the raw forms of Pancha Mahabhutas, the earth, water, fire, air, ether, coming in the raw form of these things with your own hands. It's an integral part of all-round development of a child. And a person who has with his own hands tilled land, sown seeds, planted seeds, and served cows, that person will never have mental issues when the person grows up. It is impossible. He will never have, this anxiety issues, or it's like serving your mother and nourishing. Our scriptures say, like, the earth and the cow and our own mother, they are all seven mothers spoken in scriptures, right? So especially I have seen in my own observation that people, these three mothers, your own mother, uh, earth and cow, they reciprocate very strongly, and people actually can immediately see good results of association with these three mothers. It's fact. The person always remains mentally very stable. One who is dealing with them, he may not have other things, other achievements in life, but he will have a very grounded understanding of life, very grounded understanding of life. Okay, I
Very
think
nice.
then.
One more thing I want to share, like in America also, like how you are thinking, teachers of America, like who teach in mundane schools, they are thinking that we should teach the kids how the food comes on the plate. So they wanted to take them to the field and how the grown, and what they eat is the meat. And one teacher, yeah, teacher took the kids, like a group of kids, 7 8 years, or they took them. She took them to slaughterhouse, and all the kids started crying. And that teacher was in big trouble. She
Mm,
was in big trouble. Why are you showing this to kids? See,
mm, good, good, good. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Often people say that we are growing these fish or these chickens or these whatever animals for eating them. We are growing just like you grow plants for eating, we grow animals for eating. But whether it's your own grown animal or it's animal that is existed by nature's arrangement, that animal undergoes the same level of pain when the animal is killed. The pain does not change whether you have grown the animal in your own poultry farms or whether it's a natural animal outside. They both undergo the same sort of pain. Perhaps the one in the poultry goes through much more pain and much more anxiety. It's about not having that pain. That's what is being talked about. So if you have an alternative where there is a food available where you can give lesser pain, so people say, okay, you give pain to the plants also when they are cut. But then your science only tells us that plants don't have nervous system. Now you say that your science only says plants have no nervous system. Your science only says that plants get pain while cutting. Then what is the value of learning that science in school if you cannot remember such a simple thing that plants don't have nervous system. So yes, there is some sort of pain, but that is negligible because there's lack of nervous system. And by the arrangement of the Lord. I mean, if somebody sticks to vegetarian food, almost 85% of the food you don't even have to kill a plant. Like things which grow just like fruits, or vegetables also which are like fruits. So many of them. You don't actually have to kill the plant. And traditional farming in India, if you see, when the rice is fully grown, and the wheat is fully grown, the plant dies on its own actually. You don't have to actually kill the plant. The sign that the crop is ready, the sign is that the plant just like bends like this and leaves its body. The plant itself dies. So that's how it is. So when you do that, then you do that food, then you also get that same consciousness that when I will ripe, one day I will just leave and die. And then whatever I have created, whatever I have collected, whatever I have shared, that will be used for nourishment of the people around me. And the society will grow from there. Not that I want to just hold on and hold on and hold on, but because we do all artificial things, that consciousness goes in the mind also. Anyway, fine. I think we
Yeah,
should.
in one farm, they had a cows, and the lady got so attached to those cows, and she will take the guitar and she will sing for them. She prepare, and her husband was saying, "Don't do that, don't do that," because he knew that after some days we are going to kill them. And he said, "You will not be able to kill them." Say, finally, she got so much attached and she turned all the farm in the vegan farm.
Good,
So
good,
that's how.
good, good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good to hear this.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen all the time. Very
Yeah,
few.
yeah. But just like you did, we have to collect these stories and tell to people, because the media will only tell the other stories. So
Yeah.
you have to tell the good stories. Correct. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, and I really again grateful to all of you that I got this Bhagavad Sangi Sangha for whatever 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. I'm feeling very fortunate to be able to serve. Thank you so much for everyone.
It's a
Great.
Bhakti Sangha. Bhakti Sangha.
Yeah, Bhagavad Sangi Sangha was that word in that verse. So I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
trying to correlate
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank
that.
you so much.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hari Bol,
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Very nice.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sakal Prabhu Krishna Kripa Sindhu Deva Cha